the ghost on radar. 1948, a test flight, and for the first time in history, radar operators witnessed an aircraft disappearing before their eyes. At that moment, no one realized this was the first sign of a revolution. It was the first act of an 80-year passion, a dream, and an ultimate victory.
The visionary's obsession, the flying wing. Rebellion against tradition. Aviation was made of wings, a fuselage, and a tail, until a genius named Jack Northrop dared to ask why. The tail is just weight and drag. The perfect aircraft must be just a wing. This idea was considered madness at the time, but for Northrop, it was an obsession. This small, trembling prototype, the N-1M, was the proof of concept. Northrop believed it was the foundation for a long-range bomber that could change the course of the war. And World War II had created a need that would prove him right. YB-35, the birth of the giant wings. The YB-35 was Jack Northrop's dream made tangible. It was almost entirely fuel and bomb bay. With a range of up to 7,500 miles, it could take off from America, bomb Europe, and return. This was a staggering performance for its time. But this revolution had a body, a propulsion system of 4 massive piston engines and 8 contra-rotating propellers. This system constantly failed, overheated, and drove engineers mad with vibration. Northrop's future visionary spirit was grappling with the brutal realities of 20th century mechanics.
The jet age and tragedy, the fate of the YB-49. The leap into the future. Northrop had only one option left: to ditch the propellers. They fitted the YB-35 with 8 jet engines and created the YB-49, and that's when a legend was born. This black, tailless form gliding through the sky looked as if it was from another planet. It was visual poetry. But this beauty hid a deadly instability. Without a tail, the plane was like a flying poker. Pilots had to be constantly alert. Even worse, the fuel hunger of the jet engines halved the YB-35's legendary range. The discovery of the secret. And then, by chance, one of the most important military technological discoveries in history was made. The YB-49 was almost disappearing from radar screens. Its clean lines and lack of vertical surfaces made it nearly invisible to radar waves. The principle of stealth had been discovered for the first time. But the technology and mindset of the 1940s were not ready to understand this revolution. The fall and betrayal. June 5, 1948. During a test flight, the YB-49's wings tore off and the plane crashed. The entire crew lost their lives. This accident was the beginning of the end for the program. It was followed by political intrigue, lobbying by rival company Boeing in favor of their B-36 bomber. The Air Force officially canceled Northrop's dream. Jack Northrop had to watch the work of his life being destroyed.
The Cold War Resurrection, the B-2 Spirit. The dream taken off the dusty shelves. Years later, the icy realities of the Cold War made the Pentagon think again. Soviet air defenses had become so powerful that a conventional bomber stood no chance. And then, Northrop's YB-49 reports were pulled from the dusty shelves. That small note was read once more. Radar cross-section is extremely small. What Northrop couldn't solve, technology now could. Fly-by-wire. Computers working faster than human reflexes could correct the inherent instability of the flying wing hundreds of times per second. Northrop's ghost was ready to be resurrected with a digital brain. The birth of the ghost. And then the moment arrived. The B-2 Spirit. Not just an aircraft, but a walking technological marvel. Radar-absorbent special paints, composite materials, perfect lines. It was no longer a dream, but an operational ghost. But this power came with an incredible price tag, $2 billion per unit. At that price, only 21 were ever built. Northrop's dream had come true, but almost no one could see it. Crowning the legacy, the B-21 Raider. Lessons and a new philosophy. The lessons for Northrop Grumman were clear. The next aircraft had to be more advanced, but also cheaper, more sustainable, and producible in larger numbers. The answer lay in digital engineering. The B-21 was tested thousands of times in a virtual environment before being physically built. This was a revolution that radically reduced time and cost. The B-21 is smaller, simpler, and has much cleaner lines than the B-2. Advanced software and artificial intelligence make it even easier to fly. It was designed to be optionally manned, meaning it could fly without a pilot if necessary. And most importantly, manufacturability and ease of maintenance were central to its design from the very beginning. The synthesis and ultimate victory. The B-21 Raider is the synthesis of it all. It brings together the long-range dream of the YB-35, the discovered stealth secret and control challenges of the YB-49, and the ultimate stealth capabilities and cost lessons of the B-2. This is the crowning achievement of 80 years of technological evolution and a visionary's persistence.
The dream completed. Jack Northrop's tears. 1979. Jack Northrop, in his final days, bedridden and struggling to speak. Northrop Grumman engineers showed him a secret project. The design drawings for the B-2 Spirit. Legend has it that Northrop, with tears in his eyes, touched the drawings and said, "Do you know how I feel now?" Do you know? Now we know. The epic finale. This is not just a story about airplanes. It's a story about faith, perseverance, and the power of an idea. Sometimes a vision precedes the technology and political will to make it real. The B-21 Raider is not just a new bomber. It is the finally, fully realized version of Jack Northrop's impossible dream sketched in the 1940s.